Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My colleague mentioned the $7 million grant to Blue Origin. There was also a $7.5 million grant to Space Exploration Technologies Corporation.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct? And that's part of Elon Musk's SpaceX. And does anyone on your board have an official connection to SpaceX?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that work, giving grants to people? You said non-conflicted board members.
Yes.
Was there, what was the conflict of interest? Were they part of the vote granting themselves the grant, or how did that
no.
work?
Yes. So our Chief Compliance Officer here, Aaron Chancellor, we have set up a very robust process and procedure for how we review and evaluate the grant applications. Prior to even standing up the portal process that we each have our own area in a portal. We have disclosed any conflicts of interest that we have before the grant program even opened. And as we've moved forward in the grant application process, we do not see any of those that we are conflicted with. There are several members of the board that do have conflicts within the industry by nature of the industry. So does that answer your question?
Well, it just concerns me because it looks like you received applications, 281 applications, right? The funding request over what is that,
0.4 billion.
Okay, 3.4 billion, but almost 20% of the grants given were people on your board. And so that's concerning because you have 281 opportunities of various, maybe smaller businesses or innovators as well, but almost 20% of the funding went to people on your board when there's so much more opportunity out there. And how is it that they were not conflicted out? And you said that you disclosed that. Where was it disclosed, and what is that process?
We disclose to our Chief Compliance Officer and our Executive Director if we do have a conflict of interest. We never see those applications. We do not vote or speak about those applications if we are conflicted in our open meetings. So therefore, we're not involved in that process should we be conflicted.
Okay. So with 20% of the grants going to people within the board that is making the decision on who is going to receive those grants, I don't understand.
So we are just beginning. We've just begun our grant application process. We still have more than 100, I believe we have 113. I need to look at the data. You have it there on your paper. We have many institutes of higher education that have not even been put into our portal yet. They are being reviewed. The technical academic institutes of higher education are being reviewed, and we haven't seen those yet. Therefore, we have the $80.8 million remaining in the SURF grant fund for additional awards. We expect to make additional awards to other entities. They might be a public or private business, a nonprofit entity, or a governmental entity or institute of higher education. So we're not done yet. We haven't finished our work on the $150 million that we have.
But that doesn't negate the fact that a good portion of the grant money is allocated to people on the board that are making the decisions on who to give the grants to.
It's not the majority of the dollars.
20%.
Correct.
So it is about 20% of the grant money is going to members on the board that your individuals that are not conflicted out.
It's not going to the members of the board. Let me be clear on that.
Well, the companies that they are associated with.
The companies that we are awarding grants to are those that are leading the way and helping to expedite the needs of Texas and our nation. So I can't speak on behalf. I don't see the scoring of my fellow board members. That is held in confidence through the process. So I can't speak for anyone other than myself, ma'am.
Okay, can you share with our office the requirements on how the determination is that these individuals that are associated with these companies are not conflicted out? Like how that determination was made that they are not, that there's not a direct conflict of interest on how they are part of this determination process?
We have adopted rules, which we can make available to you
Yes,
with no
please.
problem, that help. If I had any dealing with any of the, and I do own a strategic communications firm, a very small business that works in the space industry. So that's why I personally have notified our chief compliance officer and our executive director of any conflicts that I may have. I am not even aware of those that have been put into the portal yet. I don't even know who those companies are. That's why it's so important for each of us to disclose our conflicts of interest that we think may be there.
And you have rules on when
Oh,
to
yes.
disclose these conflicts
Absolutely.
of interest. Okay, yes, if you could
Yes.
share that with me
Absolutely.
as well. And that the assumption is that people are following those rules.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, thank you.